Highway. A general term for a public road, typically a main route for transportation that connects cities and regions. The term comes from medieval England, where high referred to a well-maintained, important road. Interstate. Part of the interstate highway system. These roads are high-speed, multi-lane expressways that span multiple states. The system was championed by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, inspired by Germany's Autobahn. Freeway. A high-capacity road designed for fast-moving traffic, typically with no stoplights or intersections. The name comes from the idea that traffic flows free of interruptions. Expressway. Similar to a freeway, but may have some at-grade intersections or limited access points. Some expressways were originally built as private toll roads before being taken over by state governments. Turnpike. A turnpike is a toll road, usually a major highway that requires vehicles to pay for use. The term dates back to the 17th century, when wooden turnpike gates were used to block roads until a toll was paid. Parkway. A scenic highway that often runs through parks or along natural landscapes. The first parkways were designed to be beautiful and recreational, discouraging commercial traffic. Avenue. A broad city street, often lined with trees or buildings, usually running perpendicular to streets in a grid system. Originally, avenues were pathways lined with trees and French gardens. Boulevard. A wide, multi-lane road, often with a median, trees, or landscaping. The term comes from a French word meaning rampart or defense wall, as many early boulevards replaced old city walls. Drive. A winding road, often scenic, that may follow the contours of natural landscapes. Many drives were originally routes taken by horse-drawn carriages in city parks. Lane. A narrow, often residential road that may not have dividing lines and serves local traffic. Many lanes in older cities follow paths that were originally just walking trails. Circle. A looping road, often found in residential areas or as roundabout-style streets. Washington, D.C. is famous for its circles designed to slow traffic and create small parks. Alley. A narrow, secondary road that runs behind buildings, typically used for service access and deliveries. Some of the oldest alleys in the U.S. date back to the colonial times and were used for horses and carriages. Crescent. A curved street that loops back on itself, often found in suburban areas. The name comes from its resemblance to a crescent moon. Street. A more general term for any roadway in a city or town, typically narrower than avenues or boulevards and often designed for more local traffic. Streets usually run between buildings or residential areas. Trail. A path or minor road often used for hiking, biking, or historic routes, sometimes paved but often gravel or dirt. Trace. A historic scenic route that follows the natural flow of the land, often based on old animal migration paths. The Natchez Trace started as a buffalo and indigenous trail before becoming a major trade route. Causeway. A raised road built over water or wetlands, typically connecting islands or crossing swamps. Louisiana has a causeway that is one of the longest bridges over water in the world. Byway. A byway can be multiple road types, typically having scenic, historic, or cultural significance. Some byway types are forest, river, city, lake, or ocean, typically lining one of these and displaying the historic or scenic elements. Bridge. A structure that carries a road over a body of water, valley, or other obstacle. The oldest bridges in the U.S. date back to the 1700s and were originally made of wood or stone. Viaduct. A long bridge-like structure that carries a road over a valley or series of other roads. The Pulaski Skyway in New Jersey is a famous early example of a highway viaduct. Tunnel. A road that runs through a mountain, under a river, or beneath a city. The Holland Tunnel, built in 1927 under the Hudson River, was one of the first ventilated underwater tunnels in the U.S. Service or frontage road. A road that runs parallel to a major highway, often providing access to businesses and properties. Texas is famous for its extensive use of frontage roads along highways. Beltway. A highway that encircles a city, designed to reduce congestion in urban centers. Washington, D.C.'s Capitol Beltway is one of the most well-known in the country. Loop. A circular or semicircular road that returns to the same point, often found in suburban or planned communities. Many major cities have highway loops, such as Loop 610 in Houston. The difference between a loop and a beltway is a loop can be used to bypass a city or neighborhood, while a beltway can be used to bypass an entire metropolitan area. Toll road. A road requiring a fee for passage, often used to fund maintenance or expansions. Some toll roads, like Florida's SunPass system, allows electronic payments instead of cash toll booths. Ramp. A short road that connects highways or different levels of roads, allowing smooth traffic flow between them. The world's first cloverleaf interchange was built in Woodbridge, New Jersey in 1929. Dirt road. An unpaved road typically in rural areas, used for local traffic and farming access. Many of America's early roads were dirt paths widened for wagons. Corduroy road. An old type of road made of logs laid across a swampy area. Rare today, but still referenced historically. These roads were bumpy and prone to rot, but were essential in frontier areas. Military road. A road originally built for military transport, sometimes repurposed for public use. Some U.S. military roads, like those built in the War of 1812, still exist today. Fire road. A dirt or gravel road used by firefighters and emergency services in forested areas. Many fire roads in California serve as an emergency escape route during wildfires.